And this is a really exciting game. I think this will be one which really it defines the outcome of Group One in the stages, or Group A. Right now we have Dim Sum. This is their last game, and they've won every other game. And University of Warwick, they have 2 games left, and they have also won every game. So this is truly exciting, I think.
Uh, the picture from Dim Sum, that looks like 5mm that we cost yesterday.
Yeah, but he had glasses, the 5mm guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right.
So jumping straight into it, we did see University of Warwick in the last game, playing a pretty interesting tactic with a support Skeleton King and fast bans coming out. We do see the Elder Titan coming out from University of Warwick and the Lich coming out from Dim Sum.
Yes, both of them being very strong heroes
Yeah,
in general. And we have an Invoker ban. That is interesting.
that is very
Not
interesting. Perhaps,
not really a hero you see banned in the first stage.
yeah, it might be Dim Sum playing Invoker often or well. I haven't seen Dim Sum too much, so I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
Now we see Weaver coming out. That's interesting. We haven't seen a lot of Weaver in this tournament, so we'll see what he can make happen. Timbersaw and Venomancer coming out from Dim Sum, and Timbersaw, as we've said several times, very strong offlaner, so that might open it up a bit more for a tri-lane or a jungle hero from Dim Sum.
Yeah, unless they run the Timbersaw mid, which is of course also a possibility. Now Weaver, he is one of those heroes that early game not that strong really, but at the same time it's really hard to actually gank him and kill him
Yeah,
after he gets level 7. So he should be able to farm fairly well, honestly.
yeah,
And Visage is also a hero we have not seen a lot. However, he is, of course, really, really strong. Those familiars do a ton of damage, and his burst is one of the best early burst spells in the game.
yeah. Now we see Bounty Hunter coming out as a ban from University of Warwick, which I'm not entirely sure if I think that Dim Sum would pick up. As you said, they might run a Timbersaw in the mid lane, but Bounty Hunter is mostly commonly played as a offlaner. So we'll see. We'll see if they have a strategy here.
Yeah, we've seen pretty much all the Timbersaw so far go to the offlane, so honestly, it's the more likely choice, but we'll see. And Crystal Maiden getting banned out, also currently one of the strongest supports there is, with a lot of lockdown, and the mana regional is just really strong in general.
Yeah. Uh, so we have seen a couple of terrible CM games, unfortunately.
Oh
So
yeah. Well,
I feel
not
sad.
terrible play, just
No, not terrible play, but just like
terribly, terrible deaths.
yeah, exactly. I mean, not like oh, terrible players play CM, but more like they've had such a horrible time on the CM because they've just been targeted so much.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's very painful.
Yeah. Now we'll see what University of Warwick decide to ban out next. The Visage, as you said, a really strong support hero, most commonly used as a babysitter. And if they decide to run the Weaver on a solo offlane, it'll be interesting to see what they do with the safe lane.
Yeah, Visage is one of those heroes that works really, really well in tri lanes as well. So honestly, I think they could go an aggressive tri lane if they want to. I think it depends a lot on the draft from Dim Sum.
Yeah. And also now OD and Viper being banned out, and Quap being picked up by Dim Sum. So Quap, that looks like the mid hero for me at least.
Yeah,
We do
yeah.
see the sometimes we see the Quap being run on the offlane, but it's not as common in Timbersaw. So just a way stronger offlaner in my opinion.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, most likely Timbersaw offlane, and Timbersaw actually does surprisingly well against the Weaver if in case they choose to run him safe lane. So yeah, most likely, and we have the OD and the Viper bans, both of them really strong. OD usually run mid and extremely annoying to run mid.
Yeah,
Viper a little bit more versatility, but pretty much equally annoying, I think.
yeah. This does open up a couple of picks that we see really neutralized by Viper, such as the Ursa or the Lifestealer. since neither has been banned out. And so
Yeah.
we haven't even seen a ban on Nature's Prophet, which is very uncommon for us.
Yeah. And it's a Prophet getting banned in pretty much every game.
Yeah, and I would
And
see Alchemist being
Alchemist,
picked up. That's their safe lane
yeah,
farmer.
yeah, indeed. And he's one of the strongest safe lane farmers as well. So, yeah, usually I see people go for the maxing the greed build, just farming for until you reach your first item at least, and then you start fighting. But we'll see
Yeah,
how they choose to do it. But uh, this opens up either a tri lane or a dual lane with jungler, I think. So we'll see what they choose to pick up. If they maybe go for something like an Enigma, or if they choose to go for tri lane.
yeah. If they expect the Weaver to be a solo offlane, perhaps they think that they can go for the Alchemist and the Venomancer as a safe lane and still get the farm that Alchemists need.
Yeah.
No Puck
Uh,
being picked up for University of Warwick, so that's most likely their mid lane. And I do
yeah.
like the Puck against the Queen of Pain. I mean, Queen of Pain has a really tough harass with a Shadow Strike, but Puck can easily dodge it with just one in phase shift. So
Yeah, indeed. That's a good point. And I feel as well that the silence from Puck also works really well, both against Timbersaw and Queen of Pain. So it's a really nice pickup. I feel. And Vengeful Spirit, also a good trial in here. So they could choose to go aggressive here if they wanted to.
yeah, definitely. And now Lifestealer being banned out by Dim Sum and a Lying being banned out by University of Warwick. So I do think those are very good bans from both teams because I feel like Dim Sum is looking for another support and Warwick are looking for another, or not another, but a safe lane farmer.
Yeah, I think either they could pick something like Lifestealer and use it in an aggressive trial and sending the Weaver as a solo safe lane farmer instead, or I think they could actually incorporate the Weaver into the tri lane.
Yeah. But now we have a Luna pickup, which I think is very interesting. That was
That is
not
very
at all
interesting.
what I saw
Is this
coming.
a support alchemist? I think this is a support alchemist because neither Timbersaw nor Queen of Pain or even Luna really work well as supports. But alchemist
Yeah,
we've seen a few times from a bunch of teams, so that could be what you're doing here.
yeah, I think that is very likely, definitely. And now we see Storms being picked up, so
All right.
interesting pickups. These last two pickups, I'd say, definitely.
Very interesting. I feel either they're gonna either I actually am really confused because both Puck and Storm Spirit could of course go mid. And the other one, honestly, I feel that I would put it as a safe lane farmer going with an aggressive trialing with the Weaver, but they could just turn around, sending the Puck to the off lane and running Weaver safe lane as well.
Yeah,
Uh, the thing is that both Storm and Puck are heroes that you can't really use in tri lanes or dual lanes because they need a lot of XP.
yeah. It looks like they're running the Storm on the bottom lane though, so we'll see if they're gonna try to run an offensive tri lane because now Vengeful Spirit is running toward the top lane, so we'll see what
Yeah.
happens. But for University of Warwick, we have Tyrax Danny playing the Weaver. We have Sika playing Vengeful Spirit. We have Korga playing the Visage. We have Phap playing the Puck. And we have Exploradora playing the Storm Spirit.
Yeah. And I actually forgot my in-game sound, so that should be up now. Terribly sorry. On the Timbersaw, we have an X. On the Quap in the mid lane, we have Faye. Playing the Venomancer, we have an artist, mid and feed. On Luna, writing dim sum wrong, so he'll be kicked from the team apparently. We have Lychee. And on the Alchemist, we have Ash. And
Okay.
the Alchemist actually bought wards and smoke, so he will indeed be played as a support. But
Yeah.
they're actually running an offensive tri-lane as well.
Yeah, perhaps they're predicting the offensive tri-lane coming out from University of Warwick and they want to counter it. I'm not entirely sure. And now Weaver
That's
running bot
actually
and picking up a haste rune, so he's running top.
Yeah, that's actually exactly what I'm thinking because Luna is not a hero you want to put in an aggressive tri-lane normally. But looking at the lineup from Warwick, I feel an offensive tri-lane is the most likely. So I think it's a dodge, and I think it's a good choice.
I think so too. And I do like this war. That's very interesting from Alchemist. They're really scouting out this lane. Perhaps it's to see if they're going to go up against the tri-lane, and perhaps they can get an easy pick off on Storm Spirit, who doesn't really have much mobility in the early stages of the game. And Venomancer and Alchemist instantly standing out in the woods, just trying to scout it out. And I think Storm Spirit should have figured out that this is an offensive tri-lane, so he should be careful, which he is. He doesn't really go too much forward and just waits for the lane to come to him, which it doesn't really do right now. We'll see what Luna can do. Luna just decides to deny, and that's a nice static farm for her right now. Meanwhile, on the top lane, we see that Vengeful and Visage is just pushing out the Timbersaw as well. So we do see the carries of both teams getting a bit more free farm right now.
The thing I feel, the problem with the Radiant safe lane is that Storm, as you mentioned, is not a mobile hero, and he will not, honestly, he will not be able to farm well. Because as soon as the lane gets pushed out,
Alchemist, that's a loosened beam as well, and that's gonna be a stun. And he's in the forest. He doesn't do too much damage, and then we see that Venomancer taking very much damage. But now we see an engagement in from Vengeful Spirit, and he's gonna be able to pick off the Luna. Alchemist also going very low, but that's a nice job from Vengeful Spirit to be quick on the reaction, teleport in, and get that kill on Luna. So even though the first blood goes to dim sum, that's a nice recovery from the Vengeful Spirit, and she has rotated to the bottom lane now, so we'll see if they're going to try to run two dual lanes instead with a Visage and Viper on top.
Yeah, I feel that dual lanes is not what they want, honestly. I feel instead I would prefer them to rotate, and the Storm Spirit will go down again, doing a lot of damage though to both the Veno and the Alchemist. The problem is running dual lanes with Storm will leave him really far behind. I feel that honestly, looking at the lanes, they should either rotate, so the rotated aggressive tri lane to the safe lane and the Storm off lane against the Timbersaw, or they should rotate the Puck and the Storm Spirit, because Puck is much more survivable. Going solo lane.
Puck is way more mobile in the early game since he does have that illusory orb and that phase shift, which really helped him. Do you see now Weaver? I mean, it's nice for the Gemini attack to harass him, but Timbersaw also pushing out his Whirling Death, and that hits the Weaver pretty decent as well. So now we have the Visage rotating to the bottom lane as well, so we might see the Weaver going solo after all and have his Storm Spirit being tri-laned together with his two supports. And now we see a bit of harass coming out from Storm Spirit, no re-initiation though from Luna and Venomancer. The Alchemist is running towards the lane. Only level 2, and he had to go back since he went so low, but a bit of Rush coming out with the Lucent Beam from the Luna onto the Visage, but nothing really much happening. And now Weaver going fairly low on the top lane, but so does Timbersaw, but now Weaver living dangerous with only 40 health, and Timbersaw doesn't have any health or mana, but now he gets his bottle, and now he's gonna chase after that Weaver and perhaps get a kill, but Weaver just pops his Sakuchi and runs away.
Yeah, I feel Weaver against Timbersaw is honestly very, very favored for Timbersaw, so it's not a strong lane at all for him. I feel they should really just try to rotate this, because the Storm Spirit in a tri-lane will lack XP, and the Weaver will not be able to handle a Timbersaw by himself.
Yeah. Storm is he's doing a nice job of catching up with the last hits. Least, so that's nice for them, but I mean, as you say, he's gonna be lacking the experience, and now he gets initiated upon, and he's gonna be Galed now, and he's gonna have no chance. But Luna getting very close, but he pops her stick, and she's gonna be able to escape. And now instead, Alchemist is trying to chase after Visage, taking a lot of damage though, and he's gonna fall. But Visage falls to the Venomancer, but now we have the Vengeful Spirit kind of chasing after the Venomancer, and we do have the Luna rotating in after getting our Flask up to Flask up her health. So Venomancer rotating out a bit now, going around half health, and we'll see what Storm Spirit has teleported down, and we'll see what he can do about this.
I mean, I just feel the Storm Spirit before level 6 is just so incredibly easy to pick off for them. Yeah. It's pretty much one Alchemist stun, and he's dead.
Yeah, I mean,
pretty much regardless of the supports.
I mean, he doesn't have his boots, so he only has 295 movement speed. And with a Gale, Gale like brings him down to 240.
Unless the supports actually hug him then he will most likely go down. However, we have seen the supports rotate out of this lane actually, which is a strange decision to me. The Alchemist going top, I guess he wants to try to gank the Weaver, but I don't really see that happening unless he gets a really nice stun here.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
he
do
has
have the
dust
dust though, so they would see the stun coming out on the Weaver. And Timbersaw running in, he has the Timber Chain, but he only has mana for one of them, so he can't really do much, and Weaver just backs off. So that's a bit of a waste of the dust, and Weaver has his Ring of Health, so he's going to be able to get his health up, not really quickly, and we see some harass coming out with a with a Whirling Death, so we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, I just feel that's a very strange decision because the speed from Shikuchi and the slow cast animation from the Unstable Concoction, the Weaver is most likely going to get away. If they had waited on the Timbersaw was level 6, then they could have gotten him down. But before that, there's pretty much no way. And this leaves the Luna without the possibility to actually farm properly, because she's up now at dual lanes against the tri-lane. And mid.
Yeah. We see the Puck going very low. He is Shadow, and she has the Shadow Dagger on him, but she does pop her phase shift and she manages to blink away, but so does the Queen of Pain. She blinks in and gets that easy pick up on the Puck. And now we have some kind of initiation on the bottom. Let's see, we see the Venomancer going very low. He managed to pop the Gale, but he can't really do anything. And that's a nice kill for the Storm Spirit. Luna can't really put anything against that, so that's really what they needed on the bottom lane. They really needed to get a kill there. And I think nice job by them, and as you said, I think it was kind of a mistake to run the Alchemist, have the Alchemist walk away, because that really hurt the lane. I think they weren't at all as powerful when he disappeared.
Yeah, it's very, if the Luna goes just a little bit too far forward, it's easy to catch her out, honestly, and with the Alchemist not there, she's going to die if she gets caught out. So
yeah.
And the Alchemist he tried to rotate mid as well, but really got nothing done because the Quap killed the Puck by herself with her DD rune.
Yeah.
So a bit of a mistake from Alchemist, but Quap is doing really well mid actually, which is a bit surprising. She's actually 11 last hits over Puck.
Yeah,
which is very strange to me.
Now we do see Quap rotating toward the bottom lane, and we see smoke coming out from Venomancer, Alchemist, and Quap. So they're gonna try to rotate into the woods and see if they can find a pick off. We have Storm Spirit taking out some creeps, and Visage is camping around the tower, but I mean, Storm Spirit's still not level 6, and this is going to be dangerous for him if they see him, and they're rotating toward the easy camp, but they're hanging out there, so we'll see if they decide to perhaps go for the Visage, who is running around towards the bot lane, and I think that's what they're going to do. Now the Queen of Pain gets smoked out, and now we see Alchemist coming in, he has the stun, we see the Lucent Beam, and we see just everything going on the poor Visage, and the Scream of Pain is just going to be able to finish him off. And see, Storm Spirit is more or less rotated in toward the woods. I don't know if it's supposed to be like a more permanent thing, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, they have left it open though, so this leaves the tower very vulnerable.
And now we see the Weaver going very low. He pops his ultimate, but now Timbersaw in a bit of trouble. He does have a Whirling Death and a Timber Chain, but not really mana for both, so he just Timber Chains away and manages to escape. A nice swap there from Vengeful Spirit. But now the bottom tower for Warwick falls to the Dim Sum push with all of those Plague Wards.
Yeah. Yeah, I just feel Dim Sum is just handling their lanes better, honestly. I still feel that Weaver against Timbers are not favorable at all. Even with the Vengeful swap and stun, they could not get down the Timbersaw, and this is the problem that they have. He can dish out a lot of burst damage, but they cannot actually return it because of his reactive armor.
Yeah, I agree with that. And now we see a rotation in from Vengeful, Luna, and Alchemist into the mid lane. We see the Puck, he performs his phase shift and Illusory Orbs away, but he gets ultimated by the Luna, and that Eclipse is going to do so much damage. Storm Spirit now level 7, managed to jump in and get the Alchemist, but he's going very low. He has the dot on him, and he pops his flask, and he's going to be able to regen up a bit of health, and he's going to probably be able to dodge most of it. Now Vengeful Spirit going very low though. Is he going to be able to be last headed down? No, he doesn't, but he gets Lunar Beamed by the Luna with that long range spell, and that's going to be it for her. Now we see Timbersaw is steadily low on mana on the top lane, and he does a nice job. He does have his Arcane Boots, but Weaver kind of holding his own on the top lane as well with 43 last hit, so even though the lane is in favor of the Timbersaw, I think the Weaver has really... he's done a good job overall, I think.
Yeah, he's doing fine, but he's still pretty far. He's still a bit behind of the Timbersaw in last hit. and you really don't want that. Now, regarding the engagement in the mid lane, I think it was really nicely done from Dim Sum, getting a lot of kills and good engagement in general, but I think they could have gotten more out of it, but the Queen of Pain was a bit conservative and didn't really want to throw out her ultimate.
Yeah, I mean, they did manage to get the Visage as well with that Eclipse, so that was a nice job by them. So they were lucky. They were unlucky to not get the Storm Spirit. Nicely done by him to pop the flask, getting that health up and negating some of it with his ultimate. And now we see Storm Spirit getting very low. Weaver also getting hit by the Alchemist stun, and Storm Spirit now standing in the woods. He has a 40-second cooldown on his Town Scroll, but he's just trying to dodge it. But in the meantime,
he didn't
the
see the
Scream
storm.
of Pain get the Weaver. Yeah, I think you really need to go in right here. And now Luna is going down, but there she's gonna spot out the Storm Spirit. Storm Spirit has to teleport away, and he does so with that. But there we see that long range Lucent Beam, and it's gonna be able to catch out the Storm Spirit. I do think if Storm Spirit would have stayed still, they wouldn't have spotted him out. But that's gonna cost them their Storm Spirit and their top tower. The mid tower though goes down in favor of University of Warwick, so they do manage to get a trade, but they're not going to be able to defend this tier 1 tower. They do TP into the tier 2 and they do pop their glyph, but perhaps they're looking for deny at least, but that's not going to happen. Weaver rotating in, harassing a bit, but he's just going to back off and perhaps get something done farm wise. But he gets a Lucent Beam thrown out on him after harassing Luna a bit. So
yeah. That was just a really nice defensive rotation coming from both the Alchemist, the Luna, and the Quap. Unfortunately, the Timbersaw did go down, but they put a lot into it, and they actually lost 2 in return. And those were the 2 heroes that are some of the more important farmers on their team. So I would put Dim Sum ahead of that, especially since they got the tower 2. And we have another engagement now.
Yeah, initiation on the top lane now. Alchemist going very low of that. We see the Storm Spirit jumping around a bit, but here comes the Eclipse from Luna, and that's going to be able to catch out the Weaver, and Storm Spirit getting very low, going to be picked off by the Queen of Pain. Alchemist finally falls to that Visage, but here comes Venomancer. He's going to fall to, Venomancer's going to fall. Venomancer's going to kill the Visage, damn it. And now his Vengeful Spirit is also going to fall, so Dim Sum taking a commanding lead, getting 4 for that Alchemist, so a really good trade-off for them. And in the meantime, Puck just hanging around in the mid lane, not really being able to contribute to that team fight, so really nice defense from Dim Sum. They're teleporting in just how you'd want them to.
Yeah, they have amazing rotations, actually, I have to say. I feel the Puck is being a bit passive, but at the same time, I also feel the rest of his team is being a bit over-aggressive. Diving towers to get the support Alchemists is not really what you want to do. Now, if they fight, they honestly, they're a bit far behind, so even fighting in general is pretty dangerous for them. But if they fight with 4 without bringing the entire team and dives towers against an Eclipse, there's just no way they're gonna win that.
Yeah, and Luna now having picked up an Ogre Club, so she's most likely going for the BKB, which will really allow her to even just stand and hit in the team fights. And looking at the net worth right now, they're kind of similar in one way, but just that Dim Sum is about 1.5k gold ahead on every other hero. So
yeah.
So overall, I think we do see like a commanding 10k gold lead, but that's a really nice deny by Puck to the mid tower. So nicely done by him. Now Weaver trying to pick up some farm on the top lane. He does have a Perseverance, but he's around. I guess it's a Lincoln Sphere, but it's still far away from that Lincoln Sphere.
Oh yeah. I mean, he went up against the Timber, so that's just really difficult to deal with in general. So it's not surprising at all that he lacks a bit of farm. However, looking at the top 3 net worth, they're all from the Dire team. Timbersaw, he has 1500 gold as well as Arcane Boots, Bottle, and Ring of Health. And the Queen of Pain she has an Orchid in 10 gold.
Yeah, and that's a huge pickup for them, definitely. I mean, that really negates Puck, for example. I mean, just using it on Puck or Storm Spirit. I mean, Storm Spirit not being able to jump around and Weaver not being able to pop his ultimate. I mean, that really ups their ganking value. I mean, now they really have a nice ganking squad with that Quap. Quap already being a very strong ganker, but with that silence, they really negate heroes that have really good escape mechanics.
Yeah, and Luna actually just finished her BKB, so that's a really nicely timed BKB from the Luna, and this is gonna make the team fight for the Radiant really, really difficult.
Yeah. Puck has managed to pick up his Blink Dagger, which I like as well. That's a nice pickup, but we'll see. He needs to use it. They really need to get pickoffs and to really get back into this game, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if they want to fight, they pretty much need to get both the Quap and the Timbersaw inside the Puck silence, and they can't even fight for an extended time. They should maybe just try to get 1 or 2 kills with the Puck being the most important hero for them right now, and then back off,
Yeah.
because, oh look,
Now
we
we
have
do
an
see a
initiation
nice
now.
initiation on the bottom lane by Puck. He managed to catch 3 heroes in his ultimate. Venomancer manages to pop his ultimate, but he's going to go down to the Weaver. But Weaver has no chance to pop his ultimate before he goes down to the Alchemist Stun and Timbersaw. So that's a 1-for-1 trade with a Venomancer for a Weaver. Now Puck is kind of low, but he's on the chase. But here comes the Luna, losing beam, and 1 hit is going to do it. And yes, that's going to be it. The Clips comes out from Luna together with the BKB, and they're going to easily find a Visage kill. Storm Spirit also falling on to the Quap in the mid lane, so Quap doing a nice job of picking him off together with that Orchid. Now it's only the poor little Vengeful Spirit left to defend this tier 2 tower. So that tier 2 tower is on a limited time. Has a limited time offer right now.
Yeah, I mean, it was good, really good initiation from the Puck, but there was just lack of follow-up, honestly. Storm is pretty much needed with those static remnants and his just overload right clicks to be able to dish out a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And Weaver Visage is not really enough, especially against an Alchemist with his ult up, as well as a Timbersaw. They're
Yeah.
both extremely tanky, and they just need more damage output to be able to deal with that.
Now I see a bit of pressure coming in on the mid lane from the Quap, but she has the DD, so she's going to be able to do some damage, but not a lot. Now we see also the Puck and the Storm Spirit rotating in. Storm Spirit trying to chase, but he gets silenced, and now instead he's in a lot of trouble. But Queen of Pain now, after an initiation on Puck, and he's going to fall to the Visage Familiar, actually. So nice teamwork from Warwick to really get that pick off, even though you really see how dangerous that Quap with a silence is for the Storm Spirit.
Yeah. Now she had DD as well, so she did more damage than she would normally do, but at the same time, yeah, they pretty much, and this is like, they need more than one of their cores to pick off Queen of Pain. That just shows that they're pretty far behind. The Storm has no chance of killing her by himself, and neither has Puck.
Yeah, I agree. And also, I think that's what you talked about earlier as well with Alchemist and his ultimate. I think that's kind of fun for him being a support. I mean, Alchemist ultimate now only gives you health regeneration instead of flat health as well. But I mean, that regeneration is kind of intense. I mean, right now it's 50 on level 1, so that's like 50 health a second you have to bring down more. So he's really, as you said, he's really tanky, and so even if he's only a support, he can still manage to stay alive and help his team with a lot of stuns and that acid spray.
Yeah, and the Timbersaw has now finished a Bloodstone as well, so he's doing really well too. The Storm is he trying to gank the Timbersaw?
I'm not sure, but there he gets kind of he decides to just rotate out after getting some static remnant kills out on him.
Yeah, because the Storm cannot kill the Timbersaw by himself. There's just no way. Honestly, none of these guys can kill Timbersaw by themselves.
Yeah,
I just feel there's a lack of farm on that team in general. The Weaver is getting closer to his Lincolns, but this is going to be a post 20-minute Lincolns.
Yeah.
And that just puts him really far behind the Luna, who finished her BKB at 15 minutes.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. I mean, if you look at the gold per minute, this is going to be a bottom tower, but they're going to manage to deny it, so that's a nice job from Visage with his familiars. But if you just look at a gold per minute, it very much reflects the net worth, of course, but Luna is getting closer to 500 GPM, and with a Quap and Timbersaw both well over 350, and none of the heroes on Warwick being over 350, that's tough for them. I mean, that is a problem. I mean, when you have your main carries, your core, being under farmed.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a huge problem, and it seems like they're setting up a Roche now, which I agree with very much. Pretty much when you're this far ahead, Roche is pretty much always available to you, because if they try to contest it, then they will most likely lose the fight. So pretty much what Warwick needs now is pickoffs.
Yeah, and also what you see, you don't have any wards right now from Warwick. We do see an illusory orb coming in, scouting out all of them plague wards, but we'll see if it really matters. I mean, Alchemist pops his ultimate and is gonna go for it. Luna now having Helm of the Dominator as well, so they're just gonna go for it. And, you know, Queen of Pain dishing out a quite nice amount of damage with that Orchid and Levelance. Now, Alchemist decides to back off a bit, regen up some health, and we see how quick it goes for that 50 health per second. So he can actually manage to tank Roshan pretty okay, even though he's only a support. And now we're seeing Aegis coming out on the Luna. So I think what's good for them about this is that now they can really try to push towers. I do like this though, that Warwick take the tier 1 tower, so they at least get some kind of trade. They know that they're going for the Roshan, and they know that they can't contest it, so they try to make the most of it and push on towers instead.
Yeah, this is definitely a good decision. When you can't contest, you just need to get something else done instead, and they do. So it's nice done from the Storm has actually gotten up to 2.8k gold now, so he could go for something like a Hex Stick if he want to. Honestly, I would prefer him going for an Orchid as well. And now he's getting caught out
by the Queen of Pain. Easy kill for Queen of Pain with that Orchid, a Shadow Strike, and she just hits him to death. I mean, and Queen of Pain getting closer to a BKB of herself, so she's gonna be really terrifying for the other team right now. And Venomancer going for a mech as well, so that's also gonna be nice for them in the team fights.
Yeah, I mean, not Queen of Pain, BKB pretty much shuts down Warwick really much now, because they have no physical damage. Their physical damage dealer is supposed to be this Weaver, who does finish a Linken's now, but until he gets something like a Desolator, he's not gonna have enough right click to kill off pretty much anyone. So when you have a BKB, it really shuts them down a lot.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's a really good pick off against this lineup. And yeah, getting
Timbersaw buys a blink.
Yeah, Timbersaw with a blink, so he's really gonna try to be more of an initiator and an aggravator, and perhaps try to even more disable blink daggers and stuff especially from Puck then. So
yeah,
I'm not sure that's exactly what a Timbersaw needs, since he does have that nice Timber Chain, but perhaps that's what he counts on doing: blinking in, Timber Chaining out, getting that harass in, perhaps throwing out the Chakram. Now we see Storm Spirit being chased out a bit on the bot lane. He gets the Lucent Beam, but no silence coming out since Quap wasn't there. But they're gonna try to push this tower, and here we see a nice blinking in from Alchemist, and that Timbered Saw and Luna damage just too much. Storm Spirit had no chance, and this is gonna be it for the tier 2 tower. I mean, we see an Illusory Orb coming out, but that's not really gonna do much. It attacks the Alchemist, and he's just gonna regen that up instantly. It's level 2 ultimate now, so that's 75 plus health per second, and that's just insane. And now we see a blink in from Queen of Pain, who manages to get a Shadow Strike on a Puck, but it's not really going to do much. And now Timbersaw and Luna take care of the Visage in the meantime. So Puck escaping, but he did get the silence, but he managed to use his Blink Dagger before he was hit by the Shadow Strike. So nicely done by him, but that tier 3 tower taking a lot of damage as well.
Yeah, I have to say though, this Blink Dagger from Alchemist is not something we actually see pretty much ever, but when he's played as a support, I actually like it a lot, because it gives him really strong initiation with that concoction, just letting it tick down to about 2 seconds and just blink in and throwing it instantly. Yeah. That's actually really strong.
Yeah, and now we see the tower being left at 160 health, so just above, or 162 to be fair, so just above the deny range. So I think now what we're going to see now is Dim Sum just going in and getting that last push and getting that tier 3 tower, and perhaps backing off after that. They do still have the Aegis on the Luna, and BKB is up on all of them. Now Puck blinking in, but he has to pop his phase shift and can't really get an ultimate out, and that's the Eclipse from Luna, and that's going to be a triple kill for Dim Sum. Alchemist does fall, and Luna is getting very low, but has an Aegis, and Puck is bought back, and it was even an ultra kill in total. So Luna now with 110 health, but still Aegis and half health on Queen of Pain and Timbersaw. But Weaver can't really dish out any damage. He only has the Lincoln Sphere, and that's going to be it for the top racks at least. So we'll see. They can rotate in towards the middle because the tier 2 tower is still up, but a very nice job by Dim Sum, really taking 4 kills off of Warwick, forcing a buyback, and still getting both the tier 3 and the racks.
Yeah, this just shows how difficult it is for Warwick to actually fight in general. And the Puck, actually, when he blinked in, I believe he he coiled, but he couldn't actually get his silence off. I
Yeah,
feel that silence would be what you want to throw out first, so
yeah.
that's a bit of a mistake from him, I feel. But
I didn't really see his
honestly,
ultimate, but now we see an engagement in the middle lane and Timbersaw going lower. He has 500 health, but they're chasing after him and they're trying to slow him, and we see a nice job from Storm Spirit using those remnants to get his stun. But Timbersaw just running away, and instead Puck is gonna fall to the Queen of Pain, and now we also see Storm Spirit falling as well. So Luna even has a Beyond God, like she got it in the last fight, I noticed, and she has her Manta style done as well as her BKB and Helm of the Dominator. Now we see Weaver rotating in, perhaps dishing out a bit of damage, but just rotating out easily. And now we see a Blink from Alchemist. He does get hit by the Sakuchi, but that doesn't do too much. But his ulti runs out, and he is very weak when you talk about it. But now Weaver getting dusted up and galed, so he's only had 200 movement speed when he's running around. Now Queen of Pain also getting the Vengeful Spirit, so...
yeah, I mean, that was just over-aggression again from Warwick. Trying to gank at Timbersaw is fine. That's like pretty much exactly what they want to do. But chasing him that far is just too much. If they don't get him down before he escapes to the Roche pit, then they will not get him down, and they should just back off.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And here comes the Luna. She's getting that tier 3 tower down, just bashing on it together with the Timbersaw and Alchemist. And I think this is gonna be pretty much it for the tier 3 tower and the middle racks. As we see, yeah. Luna they're just bashing it down easily, and we do see a bit of an engagement on the bottom lane. Queen of Pain now being silenced out, but she's gonna be able to take the Storm Spirit. She pops her ulti and manages to catch both the Weaver and the Puck, and Puck is gonna fall to the Alchemist stun. And now we see a blink in from Timbersaw using that Whirling Death, not really hitting anyone. Timber Chain not hitting anything, and he's gonna have to back off at around half health. But he has 23 life regen from the Bloodstone, so he's not too worried about it. He's gonna regen it up pretty easily, together with that reactive armor up on 8 stacks. So
yeah, I mean, getting a Corp is good, but losing the Storm as well as the Puck is not. It just they don't have enough at this point. They have just come too far behind. The Storm hasn't even finished his BKB, and the Puck hasn't got anything after the blink.
Yeah, and I mean the graphs are 20k gold ahead for both, 20k gold and 20k exp ahead in both for Dim Sum. So
that was even a fight where the Corp didn't have BKB because it wasn't cooldown.
Yeah, a nice stun dodge there by the Alchemist, and we see Storm Spirit running in, and he's gonna be able to be picked off by the Luna. Who's popped her Eclipse, and she just runs around with her BKB on, and Visage is gonna fall. Weaver pops his ultimate, and he does have the Lincoln Sphere up, and he's just gonna Sakuchi away, but they're just running away now, and they can't really do much. We see a blink away from someone. Blink in there from Timbersaw, and we see, I think it was Alchemist who blinked out before. So.
Yeah.
And now we see tier 3 tower falling in. Yeah, the GG is coming out any minute. Now we see an initiation again on the Weaver by the Queen of Pain. We see the Lincolns popped with that Shadow Strike, but nicely done by him, just running away. So, but yeah, here comes the Mega Creeps, and that's gonna be it. That's a GG from Dim Sum, who are going to advance from Group A in UKGL. So nicely done by them, taking a really, I mean, if you consider that this was the top matchup, the 1 versus 2, I think Dim Sum really stepped up to the game and really showed that they deserve to go through.
Yeah, I'm actually very impressed by them. I have to say, by all the matches we've seen so far, they have been the team that played the best. They have excellent rotation, really good teamwork, and they laned it really well. Yeah,
I mean, and we saw Warwick last match, and Warwick are good. I mean, they're not bad by any stretch of the imagination, but just looking at how Dim Sum took care of it, it was really good, nicely played by them.
Yeah. So yeah, Throne is about to go down, and GG
there comes
is
the GG, and I mean, the Ancient are falling now, so quick game, or relatively quick game nicely done by University of Warwick, definitely.
Yeah, I have to say, pretty much straight from the start, the lane prediction, sending what would have been a defensive Trident, I think, going aggressive with it instead, because you knew that Warwick was going aggressive as well. That's actually a really, really nice choice. And then winning against the Storm so much that you force a rotation, which gives your Timbersaw enough room to get farm as well. That's just really, really well executed by Dim Sum.
Yeah, I agree definitely, and I think I think that kind of took it out. That kind of took University of Warwick a bit out of the loop instantly. Like they tried
Yeah,
to go for the aggressive tri lane, and it wasn't really super obvious. But when you see the Storm Spirit with that lineup, it wasn't a surprise either that Storm Spirit was going to go for the solo off lane, solo safe lane. Perhaps I mean if he would have faced a solo Timbersaw, that would have been fine. He would have gotten levels, etc. But in this case, he was just shut down entirely, and no mobility on lower levels for him is just such a detriment to him.
yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that was University of Warwick versus Dim Sum, and we will be back. We still have 2 games left for tonight, and next up in about 50 minutes, we will be seeing uh, CMOP Please Nerf versus Funky Town. So stay tuned for that. We will shut down the stream for a while, but we will be back with the stream in around half an hour or so. So have a good one until then, guys.